Hi class, in this video we want to talk about how to do addition and subtraction of polynomials. So we're going to have two objectives we want to get through in this lecture here. First we want to talk about is how you add polynomials, and then the second thing we want to talk about is how you subtract polynomials. Now, subtraction of polynomials is going to end up working exactly like addition, or how you solve it will be exactly the same, just instead of addition, do subtraction. Okay, so talking about adding polynomials. So the first thing I want to do is I want to describe a specific type of polynomial, and that's what's called a monomial. So a monomial is a number variable or product of numbers and variables. So there's no addition, subtraction in it, is what I'm saying. So for instance, the number 7 is a monomial, a variable like the letter B, or any product, so like 2/3 a, or even 12x times y squared. These are all monomials. So the expression 3 times the square root of x is not a monomial because the square root of x cannot be written as the product of variables, like y squared is, because that is y times y. All right, similarly, the expression 2x y squared is not a monomial because it is the quotient of variables, not the product. So monomials are these type of things. So we're going to be talking about how you add and subtract monomials. So a polynomial then is an expression in which the terms are all different monomials. So a polynomial of one term is just called a monomial. A polynomial of two terms is what's called a binomial, like for example 4x plus 2 is a binomial. A polynomial of three terms is a trinomial, like 7x squared plus 5x minus 7. This is a trinomial because it has three terms. And then the terms of a polynomial in one variable are usually arranged so that the exponents of the variable decrease from left to right. All right, so this is called descending order, or sometimes you might refer to it as standard form. So something like this is a polynomial. 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 1. The exponents decrease, they're in descending order. Or even 5y to the fourth minus 2y cubed plus y squared minus 7y plus 8. The exponents are in descending order. Okay, so the degree of a polynomial in one variable is the value of the largest exponent of the variable. For example, let me go back. We would say that this polynomial here is degree 3 because that's the highest exponent, and this polynomial here we would say is degree 4 because that's the highest exponent. All right, so the degree of a non-zero constant is 0, so like the degree of, let me go back, is this. The degree of a number is just like the number 7. The degree of this monomial is just 0. And the degree of something without an exponent is 1. Like just b is 1. Okay, so here's the deal. Polynomials can be added using either the vertical or horizontal method by combining like terms. So I'm going to show you an example of both the vertical and horizontal method for both addition and subtraction. Okay, so let's take this. Let's add 2x squared plus x minus 1, and we're going to add to it the polynomial 3x cubed plus 4x minus 5. So the way you do the vertical format is you arrange the terms of each polynomial in descending order with like terms in the same column. So up here I had 2x squared plus x minus 1. Now I'm going to take my second polynomial that I'm adding. I'm going to put 3x cubed over here because that has no like term above it. I'm going to put the 4x squared below its like term. I'm going to skip the x because there's no x term in here. And I'm going to put the constant minus 5 under the other constant, which is minus 1. And then what you're going to do is you're going to combine or perform the operation of the terms in the columns. So I'm just going to bring down the 3x cubed. Now I'm going to go 2x squared plus 4x squared. Well, that just gets me 6x squared. The x comes down. And then minus 1 minus 5 gets me minus 6. And that's it. You could also do the horizontal method. So let's add these polynomials. So the first polynomial is 3x cubed minus 7x plus 2. And the second polynomial is 7x squared plus 2x minus 7. So what you do with the horizontal format is basically what you do is you're going to use the cumulative and associative properties of addition. And all you're going to do is you're going to rearrange the like terms together. So like over here. 3x cubed has no like term over here, so I'm just going to put it here. The 7x squared, there's no x squared term over here, so I'll put it here. Now look, minus 7x plus 2x. Boom, those are like terms, so I'm going to group those together. And then the 2 and the minus 7 are like terms, so I'm going to group those together. So now I just combine like terms. The 3x squared comes down, the 3x cubed, comes down, 7x squared comes down. Now I'm just going to add the coefficients here. So minus 7 plus 2 gets me minus 5x. And then obviously 2 minus 7 just gets me minus 5. All right, so now let's move on to subtraction. Pretty much the same concept. So the opposite of a polynomial, like if you take x squared minus 2x plus 3, can be written as a minus in front. So minus of that is its opposite. So the opposite of a polynomial is the polynomial with the sign of every term changed. So basically what you're doing is you're going to take this negative in front and you're going to distribute it to each term. So like this negative goes to here, negative becomes positive, and then a negative positive becomes a negative. So just like we did with addition, polynomials can be subtracted using either that vertical or horizontal format. Okay, so to subtract, add the opposite of the second polynomial to the first. So basically just distribute that negative. All right, let's take this right here. So we have minus 3x squared minus 7, and then minus, and then in parentheses, I have minus 8x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so the first thing you have to see here or do is I have to take this negative sign and distribute it through. So negative becomes positive 8x squared, negative positive becomes minus 3x, and negative becomes a positive plus 4. So then using the vertical, you're going to take the minus 3x squared, and under it you're going to put the 8x squared. There is no x term here, so I'm going to leave a blank there. And then the constant minus 7 I'm going to put over here. Then, using my value that had the negative distributed, I'm going to put the 8x squared here. The minus 3x goes in the above the empty space, and the plus 4 constant goes below this constant. So now just add down. Minus 3x squared plus 8x, that just gives me 5x squared. Minus 3x comes down, and then minus 7 plus 4, that just gets me minus 3. Okay, let's do this last one here, and I'll show you how to do it now with the horizontal. Okay, so I'm going to take 5x squared minus 3x plus 4, and then I'm going to subtract, and then in parentheses is minus 3x cubed minus 2x plus 8. All you have to do to remember this is first take this subtraction sign and distribute it through, okay, and change the sign to addition as if the opposite. So the first polynomial stays the same. I'm going to change this subtraction to addition, and I'm going to distribute. So minus minus, look, becomes a positive here. Minus minus, again, becomes a positive. And then minus positive becomes a negative. So now I'm ready to go. All right, take the highest degree term. So that's minus 3x cubed. That goes first. Plus, take the squared term here. Put that by itself. And then I'm going to have this minus 3x plus the 2x. I have to figure out what that becomes. And then the constant's 4 minus 8. Well, the 3x cubed stays the same. The 5x squared stays the same. Minus 3x plus 2x just gets me minus 1x, or just minus x. And then 4 minus 8 obviously just gets me minus 4. So the trick with subtraction, all you have to do is distribute the negative sign and then perform just like addition. All right, class, hope that helped.